Yo, I feel compelled to make a video about Charlie Kirk. Originally to just capture my evolving thoughts because they're connected. And I was just gonna totally freestyle and see what happened, but I journaled about it this morning, and something else came to mind, which is the concept. Oh, so I changed the title to Flowism. It was going to be compassion and free will and evolving thoughts, but compassion and free will, Flowism instead. Flowism, the philosophy and practical system for living that I'm developing. And I have so far I've fleshed out 8 principles of Flowism. I'm going to talk about 2 or 3. The second principle, and I put it very high up on the list, I tried to kind of put them in an order that tell a story, is to flow with compassion. And I learned a lot what I know about compassion from studying Buddhism, but I don't consider myself a Buddhist. Um, but what with my study of compassion, you cannot uh, if you want like the deepest compassion possible, you have to also accept that free will is an illusion. If you want deep compassion, you have to. Like there's if you want to have true deep compassion, you can't believe in free will at the same time. And free will isn't real anyway. Like I know there's experts who argue this and that, but it's not real. It's not. Do your own homework. Don't listen to me. But it's not real. Um, uh, and and you know, coming to compassion from a place of understanding that free will isn't real, and even if you believe there's some kind of mushy free will, like it's very obvious that none of us, okay, some people choose that they've been born into the body they've been born into, okay, but if you don't believe that, you didn't choose your parents, your language, your culture, you didn't choose any of these things, right? And Charlie Kirk didn't choose any of these things. And I think people are inherently good. Like I don't think that means that people are always doing good things. I don't think Charlie Kirk was doing good things, but I do believe he thought he was doing good things. Like I believe he was trying his best to be a good person. I think most people are trying their best to be good people, and so in that regard, and I guess you're gonna get evolving thoughts. I guess it's gonna. I thought I was gonna do this in some kind of order, but in that regard, I have compassion for Charlie Kirk. When I heard the news, I wasn't like, yay. I also wasn't like, oh no. It was just it was shocking just because he's a large, has a large presence and a large following. Anytime someone dies, or, well, I guess even when someone dies with a large following, even if it's natural, that's big news. Even if they're 90, it's, big news if their following is large enough. When they're, murdered in front of their followers on video, yeah, that's impactful news. But yeah, I didn't feel strongly one way or the other about specifically Charlie Kirk, but he was unaligned with my personal values. As far as I'm concerned, he is opposition and is opposite from the world I would like to see. You know, the world that I would like to participate in creating. But again, he's a guy doing his best, whatever. And then you got the shooter, who, you know, there's a lot of different theories about why he shot him and what his motives were. I'm not following it that closely. But what I will say is likely The shooter, from my perspective, even though he might share, left-leaning views and whatever, and so getting into my evolving uh, thoughts is I don't really like the left and the right is opposition to me to where I'm at right now. The right, there tends to be like more overlap of things that I'm opposed to. Charlie Kirk is a white supremacist. Anybody who followed him, whether they know it or not, are also white supremacists. The shooter is also likely a white supremacist, just because it's kind of the nature of being a white dude in the United States. And I'm not even like using like white supremacy is bad, but I'm not like using it in a way to like label a person as bad. I mean, it's just like what they that's just what they are. And obviously there's a spectrum of white supremacy, just like there's a spectrum of being racist. I think like most white people on the left are also white supremacists. Getting into my evolving thoughts, but going back to flow with compassion and the lack of free will, I have compassion for the shooter as well. Um, Whatever this and having compassion for someone and not believing in free will does not give them a pass like anybody can do anything. No, but it's just kind of understanding their position in the larger systems that us humans live in. He's 22 and has access to a gun, and I'm assuming he's a decent shot. Like, I don't know enough about guns. Like, is that a shot I can make? Having never shot a gun, can I get on a roof? And I have no idea. Like, I don't fuck with guns like that. I don't have that much experience with guns. But just like given the fact that he is a gun owner, a gun enthusiast, all these factors. There's kids who might feel the same way about Charlie Kirk, want to do the same thing, but they don't have the resources and skills to do that. Regardless, there's a certain set of things created him and led him to doing that. And again, not attacking Charlie Kirk, but he I'm not attacking him. I'm like critiquing him. He attacks many different groups in the United States, many different minority groups, all kinds of different groups. Like attacks them in people like to say words aren't violent, but words and thoughts are what lead to violence. And while Charlie Kirk may personally not have been, violent or wanting to promote violence, his the ideologies that he supports are I pulled this book out. I didn't know if I was going to use it. Are hostile to many different groups in the United States. And then the United States is hostile to many different groups in the United States. Just the United States as a system, as a white supremacist project, white supremacist, anti-black, capitalist project from its inception. It's just by its own nature, codified in law, codified in culture, is like hostile to different groups. And Charlie Kirk was a big voice in that hostility. And I don't think that's a reason to shoot the guy. But it didn't. It's not like this wasn't like a random shooting. I don't know. Are any shootings random? Like I think sometimes like a person is like had a total break from reality. In their shooting. There's still a cause for it. But in this case, he that shooter, I'm sure, felt hostility from Charlie Kirk, and felt like he was, the enemy, the bad guy, someone that should be eliminated. And I don't necessarily, I see Charlie Kirk as the enemy as well. I said he's opposition, like the enemy, but I don't think I don't think violence is the best path forward in the United States. Just because I think there's more impactful means. And I'm not anti-violence. Anyway, so compassion, free will. I have compassion for Charlie Kirk. I have compassion for the shooter. What happened had to happen. How do I know it had to happen? Because it happened. Like that's that's boom. So compassion, free will. The other principle, and I'll probably throw the third principle in here as well. Oh, and before I do that one, I recently ran into a quote. The quote is, be nice to people and I forgot what the word, vicious to systems, like have no, something to systems. Be nice to people and ruthless, I think, to systems. And I agree with the general, you know, idea of the quote. But so like I think when it says be nice to people, I think that's like be nice to civilians. And this is gonna sound weird. Like I'll throw like it's the nature of warfare has changed a lot. Like for me, Flowism is a martial art. Um, a martial art that I've evolved and derived from doing Tai Chi, which is a soft martial art, but most Tai Chi practitioners aren't very good at martial arts. I became good at martial arts, and I learned that like you can actually deal with like violence coming at you, like strong, like, and I'm talking about like, actually I had some violence come at me when I was working at the club and I used Tai Chi and it was awesome. Different story, but like just like where like, like the like I'm talking about controlled violence, like in a on the mats. This violence can come at you, and you can actually neutralize the violence with soft skills and without hurting yourself or hurting the other person. So you can neutralize violence without hurting yourself or hurting the other person. And I just kind of see that principle can be elevated if it's like a community, if it's a collective, like a collective fighting hostile, violent systems, but being able to neutralize the system and keeping themselves safe. So neutralize the system, keeping themselves safe. I feel like I've jumped around a little bit, but what I was going to mention is, it's information warfare now. Information is violence, and people think that's like weird, but it's not weird. Like it's information that led to this kid shooting Charlie Kirk. Violence doesn't just happen in a vacuum. We're not in the jungle, like hunting animals and being hunted by animals. Where like violence, like is the way of life. Like violence, pretty much all violence in the U.S. is connected to information or some kind of trauma or something, something going on in the brain that happens from interactions you have with people in the world gets translated into violence. And I just see information warfare. I've been looking at the world as like information martial arts for a long time, and I've been wanting to create a martial art, an information-based martial art, to keep yourself, your family, your friends, your community safe, neutralize the violence coming at your community, and converting that violence into allyship if possible, with as little force as necessary. All this long is like I was gonna say, like this is like a setup where I was saying nice to people. I forgot the word already. Ruthless to systems. I don't even know if it's the right quote, but I like it like that. Oh, I was talking about civilians. Inside of information warfare, so there's definition of civilians, as far as when nation states fight, like that there's, civilians aren't, they're not state military or mercenaries, right? It's just all the people who aren't state but then there's a designation for like terrorists, which would not be if you get designated as a terrorist, you're considered hostile to the state, and you're no longer a citizen, and that gets really fuzzy because you can, uh, the state can label you a terrorist for innocuous. I don't know where that word works for, like very simple reasons. And then anybody who's not a terrorist or a state actor is civilians in that you know view of warfare between nation states. But I kind of, not that I don't believe in nation states, but like I'm more and more operating like in a realm that's outside of that. And what I was gonna say is I would see inside of information warfare, and this doesn't mean I want Charlie Kirk to be assassinated in front of his people, but inside of information warfare, his followers, the people trying to make sense out of whatever, they're kind of like civilians, but like Charlie Kirk is not a civilian in information warfare. And when I say he's not a civilian in information warfare, I'm not saying that he should be a target for violence. But I am saying that like he's a key. He's not a civilian in information warfare. He's actively putting it out. So it's like one of those things where yeah, like ideally the information warfare stays in the realm of information. So I say all that. Man, it took me 17 minutes to talk about one principle. I'll throw this. I didn't even get to my evolving thoughts. Maybe I just let this. Maybe I just let this play out, and it's a 1 hour podcast. What time is it? I want to go eat breakfast. I got 10 minutes. So another one of my principles with Flowism, I'm putting it together, figuring it out, is like flow by any means necessary. By any means necessary comes from Malcolm X, and it sounds like it's violent, and it can be violent. Like again, I'm not anti-violence. Just because sometimes you have to be okay. When I say I'm not anti-violent, you're walking down the street. I mean, the right, the right. I'm just call the right. The right isn't anti-violent. They're all about fucking guns and stuff. And when guns are used in the right way, that's violence. Even if you're using guns and weapons and information weapons, and it's for good. I put good in air quotes because that's a journey for yourself to understand what is and isn't good. But yeah, I'm not anti-violence. Most people, I thought I might need this. Most people aren't anti-violent. Like if you're rolling with you and your two little kids and your wife. This is very patriarchal, but whatever. And a rabid dog shows up, and it comes at your wife, dude. You're gonna kick it. You're gonna shoot it. You're gonna whatever. That's violent. You're walking down the street with your wife and your kids, and a deranged white dude who thinks he's Jesus, but like he's military Jesus, charges your wife with a samurai sword, and he's like and all you have is your gut. You're gonna shoot. Violence is okay. It's neutral. So flow by any means necessary. I put that in right after compassion. And then I guess my last principle, which is kind of the first, but I want to cap it off. It's like doing good flows better or something. But again, you have to figure out what good is for yourself. That's a long-term project. But by any means necessary, flow by any means necessary, right after compassion, is just like I don't I want, Flowism. I want my philosophy. I want the martial art. I want it to be active, like active and with yang. You know what yang and yin energy is? Yang is like the sun. Yin is like the earth. Yang is action. Yin is being passive. Flow is both of those. So, maybe like yang is like violence. Yin is like peacefulness, or I don't know what the opposite of violence is. But it's like you have to figure out what the right configuration is for all these things for you, your family, and your community to flow, to live, healthy, balanced mind, all that. And sometimes that requires, like, I'm just gonna stick to violence. Like sometimes it requires violence, but degrees of violence, like violence to the level of just like verbal ninjutsu, all the way up to just straight up like violence, right? And like it's like one of these things that when one side says it, I'm not on a side anymore. Like I don't, I'm not, I guess this is the getting into the evolving thoughts. Like I just see the Democratic and the Republican Party just being, they're not two sides of the same coin, but they both serve the white supremacist, capitalist, anti-black system, and like I don't want to say the left is worse, but the left is more, what's the word I'm looking for? Subvertive about it, subversive. Like the left will be like, hey, we're helping, we're doing it. Let's vote and do some stuff. But like the change that like black people, minorities, whoever, I don't think, I still think it's worth participating in politics. And I think it's important that people do that. But I think the real the bigger, stronger changes can happen by building a strong personal community. And I'm talking about like not like you and your friends, not like, I'm talking about like a community where you own land and you're able to protect your land. You know how them white supremacist groups do it. You know how they do. You know what they be up to. Um, so yeah, by any means necessary is just figuring out what, like not everything is on the table. That's what I'm saying. Like as you're trying to figure out your flow for you and everyone else, everything's on the table. But you're thinking about compassion, so you don't want to, you're not trying to hurt other people. You're not looking at other people like they're evil or anything like that. You're trying to be good. So you're trying to do good, but you still got to do it by any means necessary. Like if somebody is moving without compassion, like Charlie Kirk didn't have compassion. Not the compassion I'm talking about. The shooter didn't have compassion. Didn't have compassion. I'm talking about. Like my flowism is active. Like if if some system or someone is being hostile to you, use your tools to neutralize that hostility. And like something I'll say is that like when using these tools to neutralize hostility, like coming from a Tai Chi place, like Tai Chi, like my goal was to be able to like do it really soft. I can do it now, really soft, like chill it out. But in the process of using softness to chill things out, I had to be pretty hard to learn. So like, yeah, compassion, be good, but also by any means necessary. Like don't let someone else's or some other system like just dominate you and be hostile to you and then just take it. Like don't do that. Also don't shoot Charlie Kirk. Don't do that. Don't do that either. And it's kind of funny to me, like I did see them trying to like blame it on the left or whatever. But what it really is like it was like white supremacy versus white supremacy. Like there's a ton of white supremacists who support trans and black people and whatever, but there's still, it's that like white male like I can do what I want. That's I can do whatever I want. I'm gonna do it this way. Um, and I guess I'll end. I will. I guess I'll try to. I got three principles in, and some trailing thoughts. That I the video that I thought I was gonna make is it's it didn't happen. Well, here's the end. Like I'm thinking about my friend who I didn't totally cut off, but I kind of cut off because he basically has white supremacist, capitalist, whatever views. I don't mind people having those views at all. Like people have terrible views. All kinds of circles of people have terrible views. Like white supremacy isn't a special like, oh, all white people have all the negative views, and all people of color and black people have all the positive views. Like there's jacked up systems of oppressive thought and hostility and self-hate and all this. This is not, white people don't have a monopoly on fucked up views and fucked up systems. They do have a monopoly on power in the United States. But cutting off that friend because he has these views, like what I realized is that I just don't want anyone in my circle, in my community that I'm building, to not be actively challenging themselves and their views, and if they're moving in the opposite direction, like I just don't want to fuck with them. I don't want to fuck with them. Sorry. I mean, I don't know who I'm apologizing to. Like, I'm not sorry. The reason for it isn't even because I'm compassionate to my friend, exploring new ideas and figuring stuff out or whatever. But on my end, I don't want to invest energy in that. I don't want to invest energy into people who follow Charlie Kirk. I don't want to invest energy into Charlie Kirk. I don't want to invest energy to MAGA Republicans. I don't really want to invest anything into any Republicans because they're. I do want to invest energy into some Democrats or people who have Democratic leanings, people who maybe are still under the what is that? I was gonna say under the illusion, but like hypnotized by the idea that doing democratic shit over there is gonna like create the world that they want to see. But I know with them they're trying to figure some shit out. They're trying to figure some shit out. People on the right are trying to figure some shit out too, but they're wrong. They're wrong, and most people on the left are also wrong. For me, for what interests me and what I want to do. And I guess all I'm saying there is I'm just getting really particular about where I put my time and energy, who I invest my time and energy in, and I really just want to build. I don't have a big, huge community right now. I plan on having one in the not too distant future, and not a community that I'm the center of, that like everyone is showing up because this is Casey's community. They're showing up for the community and the people in the community. I might be leading the charge to build this community, but I don't want the community centered on me. I want the community centered on, an idea. I guess the ultimate community, I guess I'll have a couple communities, but the 108 community is like that one I'm excited about. That's the the 108 is basically Flowism in practice, or one way to practice it. It's Flowism. People can come up with a million different ways. I had one final trailing thought. What was it? Not investing my time in people that I don't want to fuck with. Community. Maybe that's maybe that there was one more thought. Well, if I I'll end. There it is. It was worth stuttering. If you made it through the stutter, congratulations. I'm shifting. I think I said and this is kind of the evolving thoughts, and I might have said it in my like weekly update video. I guess this is just bonus content. Is that I'm like, my mind is totally shifting away from capitalism in a strange way. Like, I've been studying internet marketing for a long time. I've done successful internet marketing things. I know how to, like, you know, write a book, write a landing page, write a fucking, I think I said all this in my other video. And maybe I said this exact same thing already, but it's just like bouncing around. Like, I guess this is new, because I remember walking down the street yesterday talking to someone, or right before I talked to him, I said this, is like, I guess I might have said this already, where like I'm focusing on community over capitalism, where I'm going to do all the things I want to do. I'm going to focus on doing it with other people near me, maybe virtually, like, but I'm just going to keep working on what I want to build and just do it with other people. And I won't start thinking about like writing books or making courses or making online whatever. I'm not going to think about that unless I run into a straight up roadblock that that doesn't, like, that I can't get past without more money, without, and then this sounds, even as I'm saying this, like without money that the community doesn't have. So I guess before I was looking at like, oh, I want to build this community center. I'll build up this online course and like make some money, have an extra $2,000 a month that I can like rent a space and pay for the internet and stuff, and boom, I'm building community. But like, I think that's the warped kind of capitalist way of tricking you into building community. Like real community, the community will, like, it won't be me led. It'll be the community will work on coming up with the resources as a community to make a community center. So it's not like a me project, it's like a community project. If the community thinks we need a community center, like maybe we don't need a community center for whatever it is I'm trying to do. Like I have ideas of what I'm trying to do, but I'm like, oh, I need this community center. But why? For what? What do I need a community center for? I have a house. I can have 20 people at my house. What do I need a community center for? So yeah, so that shift into like, I'm gonna like do all the community shit I can do and not worry about money, and then bring the money in like just later, or like even like me selling books and doing all that shit. If I have a community and there's someone like, yo, I can write the email, I can manage your I can manage, I can manage whatever, I can manage the Facebook, I can manage this. Someone else can do this. I'll edit the book. I'll do the art. Versus me, doing it all on my own. And then, then all that money, like just like go into the community. I take a little piece and the rest goes into the community. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to build. And the thing that I know wasn't in Monday's video is that, man, I'm going off, dude. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. These are my videos. But I'm like, dude, when are you gonna watch this? It's 30 minutes. I'll watch it. Don't worry. I'll do it. But like, I'm realizing like, oh, since I'm not gonna be trying to like be, do the 108 with people online or in person where I'm charging them, like, since I'm not gonna be charging anybody, since I'm not gonna be selling anything or trying to create anything to sell, like all that just frees up energy. Like now I have more energy to invest into the community, and then now I'm finally getting to the thing I said yesterday. only going to be doing the 108 with people that I 110% want to be doing it with. Like I won't, like you can't buy my time. Like no one can buy my time. Like no one can get access to me unless I want to open the door and let them in. Like no, there's no, and like the more I think about that, I'm like, this is amazing. Like no Patreon where I'm fucking replying to fucking comments or feeling like I gotta upload this somewhere and the page the Patreon has the like, and I am not hating on people who do that. I probably will still do that. It's just like I'm realizing that that's like not where my priority should be. My priority should be on community 100%. And then I can offer what I have to the community and people can offer what they have to the community. And we got to remember, this is like tight, like family community level shit I'm trying to build. So it's not going to happen, in a year. I can probably make a lot of progress in a year, but I'm talking about, building some tight shit. Yeah. Well, let's just cut it off there, dude. I like that it says 108 on my watch. Can you see that? Boom! The 108! That's the 108 said it's time to end the video. I got time to go get breakfast still, I think, from the breakfast shop. Peace.